Technology holds up. I have zero faith in my technology. Okay. All right, you guys, let's see. I'm just going to check really quick because I'm still paranoid, which we love. We love Delulus, Trululus. But we are Euphoria. And today Eric's on camera. So hopefully it does it. Hopefully, I almost said hopefully it doesn't work. That was great. Hopefully it works. I'm seeing. Okay. You can see me. You can see me. Okay. Let me just go ahead and 1 second. Okay, just announcing we got Lisa, we got bot, we've got bot. I'm not sure if Eric can see the chat. So Lisa says that you're Aladdin.
Okay, we'll go with it. We'll go with it. So, like I said, I'm gonna reveal it at the end what I'm supposed to be. For now, I'll let everybody decide what the hell I'm supposed to be. So, but for now.
So what? Sure. Okay, but you'll say later then.
Mm-hmm.
You were supposed to be an angel. Eric ruined plans.
Oh, look, I went out last night, okay? I woke up late. I fucking didn't even shower. Thought we were going to do this earlier, so I didn't prep myself for anything. And, you know, my angel costume, I let a friend borrow it last night because we went out to some bars and karaoke. I love karaoke. And I wore this out last night. And I let my friend borrow my angel. So I had my tits out, nips out, everything on stage. So it was a good night. It was a good night. But unfortunately, we got a little too wasted. So he has my angel costume.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a lighter weight now. I had 4 glasses of wine and I was like, ooh, I'm feeling it. So yeah, I had 4 glasses of wine and yeah, jumping around on stage, not drinking water, you know, dehydrating myself. I was like, yeah, I think I'm a little drunk. So I forgot to collect my angel costume from him and I was like, no. So yeah, that's why I'm on plan B. So
you're the plan B pill?
I'm plan B.
Oh,
yeah,
gosh,
I
nice.
am. Totally.
Interesting. Love the awareness, social awareness. It's really good for your seeds of allyship. So, oh gosh, I'm so weird. Before I went live, I was going insane. And now that I'm live, it's like my evil Taylor Swift narcissistic mask has come on. Because when the camera comes on, then the fakeness comes on.
Lights, camera, action, go.
I'm just kidding.
No, I'm always in character, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my
god. Like, I don't know what you mean.
You're not always stressed about being on?
No,
oh my gosh. Okay, well. Okay, I guess we can go ahead and get started here. So there's new news in the gayosphere, in my gayosphere.
What are you talking about?
So, as you guys know, I've been really dieting lately because I'm watching my figure from my new boyfriend.
Oh, new boyfriend?
Mm-hmm.
What's his name, Jam?
His name is Master.
Master? That's funny. I've never heard of a master at our school.
Well, he's really hot and he's tall and foreign and he has money and he's going to take me out to Dubai this winter and the money will make the cheeks spread open. Love that it glitched.
Love it. That's how you know this is live.
Yeah, but anyways. No. So anyways, I have a new crush. It's official. I feel like Eric worked on this with me for a long time because I have my rotation mentally and Eric just kept pushing this guy. He's like one of those trainer guys. He's one of those evil right-wing, evil trainers that we heard about. And he's very religious-y and very 3. He's Scorpio. I've already started the stalking.
You're tight.
I'm like going for it. I've already started. I'm building a profile in my brain. We're trying to figure out, I've said we, you're not, but I'm trying to figure out his past, which is very confusing and contradictory.
That you love it and you're having fun with it, and yeah, you know, dark paradise and whatnot. So do your thing.
No, but I don't know. I denied it for a long time. I think because that's just what I do. But as a part of this identity crisis, we're leaning into the real. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, this is my type. But he's toxic. He's very you're on your own kid. Very 3, very Scorpio 3. Love. So I have a new object of lust. Yeah. Anyways, I guess we're going to go ahead and get into another topic today. He's not gay, I don't think.
Question mark.
Stop. I don't know. I don't know what his version would be, but we'll call him Master for now. His last name is really similar to that. His last name is German for master. So
and it works very well with your fantasy. So
shut it. You don't know anything. I don't think he's gay. He says he isn't, but he had a Q&A, and they were like somebody asked him if he was gay, and he's like, I'm 100% straight, blah blah blah.
Percent.
Yeah, and then he has like pictures of him in Dubai dressed in like the Muslim thing, and I don't know what the hell's going on. Just another person with an identity crisis in today's day and age. But anyways, you guys, I guess we should move on to the next 3 in crisis, Little Miss Seeds of Allyship. So I don't know if Eric knew about this because Eric's not a Swiftie. He's not in the Swiftie sphere, but obviously he kind of knew 1989 was coming out because I let him know. Oh my God. Lisa's not helping. Okay, Lisa. Not helping my lusty scoundrel feelings. But anyways, so basically we have her prologue. Now I'm a Swiftie. Eric knows 1989 is my favorite album. 1989 was like the thing when me and Eric met, and I was obsessed. I still am obsessed with her, but it's like a different kind of obsession. Like back then it was obsession with the capital O, and it was like crazy as far as the Tay Swift obsession. So when her new album was coming out and she's doing her little 1989 thing, I'm like, okay, period. Like this is like a huge monumental album. This is like her big, like where she broke out and she became like top of the pack. So you'd think that her prologue would be positive. You know, it's her first ever album where she's smiling on the cover, right? Like these are like a lot of indications that she's like really happy about this album being released, right? So Taylor does what she does best. She was the problem. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to read through a little bit of her prologue, and I want to know your thoughts, Eric, okay?
Okay.
So, oh my God. Okay, sorry. Eric has made fun of this forever. The lightning rod of slut shaming quote from Taylor.
Let's do next year. You're going to be a lightning rod, I told you. Remember?
No, I'm not. I'm not. Yeah. Liar.
You're going to be a lightning rod.
A lightning rod of slut shaming? Oh my God. Okay. Anyways, you see, in the years preceding this, so she talks about how she moved to New York, she reinvented herself, she did all this crap. We already know that. It's old school. She cut her hair. It was a huge thing for her, whatever. She was doing the 3 I'm going to reinvent myself thing. So she says, you see, in the years preceding this, I had become the target of slut shaming, the intensity and relentlessness of which would be criticized and called out if it happened today. The jokes about my amount of boyfriends, the trivialization of my songwriting as if it were a predatory act of a boy-crazy psychopath. The media co-signing of this narrative, I had to make it stop because it was starting to really hurt. It became clear to me For me, there was no such thing as casual dating or even having a male friend who you platonically hang out with. If I was seen with him, it was assumed I was sleeping with him. And so I swore off hanging out with guys, dating, flirting, or anything that could be weaponized against me by a culture that claimed to believe in liberating women, but constantly treated me with the harsh moral codes of the Victorian era. So she goes on to say, I assumed I could fix this if I simply changed my behavior. I swore off dating and decided to focus only on myself, my music, my growth, and my female friendships. If I only hung out with my female friends, people couldn't sensationalize or sexualize that, right? I would learn later on that people could and people would. So she was calling out all the gaylers, which that's people who believe that she's bi or gay. And she's basically like coming out as straight. Now, this is one of those like very aggressive coming out as straight moments that we've seen. And to be honest, I feel like if you are that straight, like you don't really have to come out as straight. Like it's kind of default and people just kind of assume. But let me just hear your thoughts on what I read to you so far.
The thing that I don't really get and all that is like I don't know why it bothers her if it's not true. I think like wouldn't you be able to like move on? Like that's the thing. To me, it's just like I don't know. Like if someone says something about me and it's not true, I'm like, okay, whatever, you know? But also, even if it is true, I'm just like, why don't you own it? Because like if somebody says something about you and it is true and it is who you really are and you don't care, like you're truly confident, not Demi Lovato confident, you know? I'm just like, okay, like it's you, it's who you are. And it's like once you say that to someone where it's just like, okay, yeah, I'm a slut. And like what are they gonna do about it? What can they do about it? You know? And it's just like to me, that like response or that all that extra is like you clearly don't like what you're doing or who you are to have such a like reaction to it. So I'm just like, it's not the people judging you at that point. I think that's the problem. I think it's you. Like, if you don't like it, girl, you just change. Like, I don't know. Like, it's, you know, it's easier, like, along with like other like FA things, you know, it's easier to change yourself than rather the whole world or whatever the hell around you, you know? So that's what I think so far. I'm just like, you have issues with yourself and like, you know, you're just like picking on the others, not picking on them, but like making it seem like it's all their problem. And I'm like, no, you like you need to work on yourself and like what you like, what you don't like, who you are, who you're not, you know?
Yeah, and I just have to say, I have to say happy Halloween to Jay. I just don't like, oh gosh, Celtic says Eric looks like he's dressed as a Halloween oil wrestler. Love that.
Okay.
I have to say, I think Taylor, she expects nobody with a five wing or a five-ism inside of them to remember anything of that time. But I remember how she was at the time. She was like going through guys like a train. Like, absolutely. I know that's brutal to say, but she was. I'm sorry. Like, people would make fun of it because it was so much and so often. And the other thing that she was doing is she got caught making out with Carly Kloss in public. So for people to be saying, "Oh my God, how is she doing this?" or "What is she bi?" or whatever, it's like, girl, why are you making out with your female friend in public and then acting like? So for me, it's kind of the gaslighting for me, where she's just trying to act like people were just saying things for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and finish the other part that we got to get to. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let me see. There was so much that I didn't know then, and looking back, I see what a good thing that was. This time of my life was marked by right kind of naivete, a hunger for adventure and a sense of freedom I hadn't tasted before. It turns out that the cocktail of naivete, hunger for adventure, and freedom can lead to some nasty hangovers, metaphorically speaking. Of course, everyone had something to say, but they always will. I learned lessons, paid prices, and tried to, don't say it, don't say it. I'm sorry, I have to say it. Shake it off. Well, clearly you never did, Taylor. Okay. I'll always be so incredibly grateful for you who loved and embraced this album, you who followed my zigzag creative choices and cheered on my risks and experiments. You who heard the wink and humor in blank space. I think it's totally autobiographical. I've always thought that song is real, but anyways, that's my opinion. And maybe even empathize with the pain behind the satire. You who saw the seeds of allyship and advocating for equality and welcome to New York. Oh, you who knew that maybe a girl who surrounds herself with female friends in adulthood is making up for a lack of them in childhood, not starting a tyrannical hot girl cult. You who saw that I reinvent myself for a million reasons, and that one of them is and that one of them is to try my very best to entertain you. You who have had the grace to allow me the freedom to change. Okay, so that's all I'm going to read from it. But what I will say is, like, she was a bully at the time. She was like constantly in feuds. She was fighting with everybody. She was going after people for making things on Etsy. She was being crazy with the Apple Music thing. And people can say, oh, I side with her on that or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, she wasn't just this calm person at the time. Like, she was just going through a lot and doing a lot. And I remember, like, I was a huge fan of Shane Dawson at the time, and she censored his video. He did a spoof of Blank Space, and she censored it because she supports censorship. Like, so I don't know. It's like she wants everybody to give her the freedom to change or the freedom to do stuff, but she doesn't want to give anybody else the freedom. It was just a lot. But to me, it's like I could see all of that, and I still liked her. But the Seeds of Allyship line is one that was especially cringy to me.
Yeah.
Because it was like, girl, first of all, she had already done like a call out to gayness in her 2010, I think, song Mean, where one of the people in the music video was a gay guy who was being bullied. Like, she had already kind of nodded to that. Secondly, in her first album, she has a song where she talks about how she's going to tell everybody her ex is gay. And I'm like, girl, is that your Seeds of Allyship? It was so cringe. But anyway, sorry. I kind of like gave my opinion, but what is your opinion on it?
Well, just very hypocritical. Like the whole, like, like, let me change, let me live. But when someone else does or says something related to her, it's not okay. And it's like, okay, so you want all the good, like all the compliments, all the gassing up, but you don't want any like criticism or just opinion that's negative because like she's super, super popular, but she does have a lot of freaking people that don't like her either,
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, girl, like, because I'm looking at her now and I'm like, you're like on top of the world. I'm like, you're up there. Like, you're like the biggest thing in the music industry, aside from maybe Beyonce, And I'm just like, girl, like, I don't know how she's still so like angry or bitter or just holding on to that. I'm like, like, of course there's a lot of negative and it's sometimes easy to get lost in that. But I'm just like, gosh, like, look at all your adoring fans. Look at all the success you've achieved. And, don't you really like or love the music? Like, isn't that your passion? Like, to me, it's a little like, oof, you're so unhappy sounding. And I'm just like, gosh, girl.
Yeah.
And I know she's going back to touch on a point of time where, like, maybe she was unhappy because she, had her ED or whatever she was going through. But it's just like, I don't know. I would think you'd want to reflect back with a more positive light now that time has gone past. Because, again, this is like the Taylor version, So I'm just like, you've already done your 1989 at the time, and she was writing all those feuds and all that, like you mentioned. And I'm like, wouldn't you want to shine more light on this one now that you've like matured more? Hopefully, you've grown more, you've learned more in life. I'm hoping or assuming would be better, So I'm just like, oh gosh. And then like with what you read me, I'm just like, it doesn't sound like any of that at all. And I'm just like, that's a shame because I'm like, if you're not like happy or joyous and like you have a great career, like you have fans that adore you, and like like her mom is healthy finally, like better. So it's just like, what else do you want, or what do you need to truly be happy? Like, how can she be happy?
Yeah, I don't think she can. And Elise has a good point. I mean, she's gonna be 34 in December. 34. Like, she's not 24 anymore. This isn't 1989 era. Like, if I were to look back on my earlier 20s, I would try to have more grace about it. And why not think about what you overcame? You know, yes, she had criticism, and yes, it was this, and yes, it was that, but she also surged to untold levels of popularity at the time. And that was a time when a lot of Swifties, me and Lisa actually had a conversation about this, but around 2014, a lot of Swifties, we finally just embraced that we were Swifties and we weren't ashamed of it anymore. Like it was kind of like a revolutionary moment in Swiftydom. And so I wish that she would have touched on that aspect, but instead it was just all negative. And I think it just goes to show like she's a very negative person now, which is sad because one of the reasons why I loved her is because she was positive, and I don't feel like she is anymore. And it's not like this is her. I don't feel like this is her. I feel like this is depression or, you know, something. There's something wrong with her. Like she, yeah, people were coming out of the closet about being a Swiftie. Yes, exactly. And I don't know. It's just sad to me, but I'm not surprised. It's that whole thing. So Lisa blames her ex, Joe. Could be. Joe could have sucked the life out of her, I guess. But anyways, we'll wrap up the Taylor segment. I will be talking more about Taylor tonight with Lisa because I'm going to see the movie. So I'm kind of nervous. Oh my gosh, I feel like
Ooh.
I'm going to be indoctrinated into satanic witchcraft when I go see her tonight, and it's like really scary. But
About that. Don't you ever judge me for doing yoga again, bitch.
oh my gosh, it's like I'm doing 10,000 hours of yoga in one
I
session.
know. I know.
Jeez. Oh my God. Lisa's hating on Joe because he's a Pisces. Well, Eric's a Pisces too. What are you trying to say? Anyways, speaking of Pisces and toxicity, we're going to talk about Eric's whore lifestyle now.
I don't know
so,
what you mean.
so, no, actually, we're going to talk about Delulu first. But so do you think, I think Taylor is trying to, she's trying to phrase it this way because she's trying to appeal to Gen Z. So she's saying seeds of allyship and this and that term. That was also another aggressive coming out as straight. Me and Lisa discussed that when we read it. It's a very much like, I'm straight, guys. I promise. It's like, okay, girl, like whatever. Still putting the picture of you and Carly on the thumbnail, Taylor. But anyways, so as far as like that, I think it's like she's trying to be cool. And what do you think is even cool today? Like if like you're a three wing two, you're with the culture, like you kind of know, you got the Riz. So what is cool now? What is clout today? Because I don't understand it anymore.
Day, the mainstream definition is so lost just because the rules and everything is changing like every day on what's in, what's like out, what's hot, what's not, you know? I do believe in some things like traditional clout where it's like you know, like being conventionally attractive, like being healthy, you know. And I don't mean you need to be ripped, but just looking healthy, like whether it be your face or your body or something, just being healthy, looking the best that you can, not looking like shit and like aiming for that kind of cloud, you know, like the FAs or something or the SJWs with their blue hair and all that. I'm like, ew, like, you know, like that's gross. But I do think that's like traditional clout because like I don't know, like that brings people towards you just from like the physical perspective. But then obviously I think being like, gosh, it sounds so gay, but being your authentic self, I think too, is like is it because like look, like I'm not gonna lie, like I'm a bitch out in public, you know. And for whatever people like, for whatever reason, people like laugh about it. And they're like, oh my god, like you're so funny. And I'm like, I'm not kidding though. Like I don't know if they think I'm kidding, but like you know, they laugh and it's like, I don't know, because obviously back in the day, I used to like, you know, hold my tongue more and be like, like I can't say that. But now I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, who are you? Like, what? You're not in my life. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I do think just being yourself is it too, because when you go online and see like these social media personalities and stuff, it's like, gosh, you can just tell, at least I can, when they're being so fake. And I'm just like, oh my God, like this is terrible. Like you can see right through it and it just kind of dries you out because I know social media within itself and all that is like not real, you know, it's like fake, like a lot of the stuff you see on there. But when you can obviously tell that someone's like fake, it's just like such a turnoff, at least for me. And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm over it. I don't care. Like I may like what you're doing, whether it's like a product or entertainment or whatever it is you're doing. But then like with the fakeness and you start talking about yourself, I'm like, and off. Like I don't care, you know? Because it's just like it's not real. So I think to answer your question with my very long Michelle McDaniel answer, um, taking 30 minutes to answer a 1 minute question. I don't think there is any true definition of clout these days because it gets so lost. Oh, I think another traditional one is being successful. That's one,
Money.
I think. Yeah. And but yeah, like nowadays, like I don't know, like what, like being a hardcore liberal, hardcore conservative, like what is gonna get you clout? And also, what does that clout do for you? Like I don't understand people who want to achieve a certain kind of clout when it does nothing for you. Like again, if I was in the entertainment industry and playing an SJW got me ahead in my career, like okay, it's shitty and it's bad, but I would understand it because it's doing something for me. It's advancing my career or I'm going somewhere, you know? But when you're just someone like in the like not in that, like the real world and I don't know, you work a regular job, it's just like why would you chase something that you're not
Right.
into or want to be a
Right.
part of something you're not? Because like what does it do for you? Like what social status will it boost? How will it enrich your life or make things better? Like do you make more money? Will you make more friends? And even if you made more friends, do you want those friends? Because they're so like fair weather, you know? You say the wrong thing again, like one day something is in, the next day it's out, and then it's like, ooh, like I can't talk to you because you believe in that or you like that, you know? So
The things that I've observed that are popular, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I also think with Taylor Swift's status, it's interesting because she will make something cool because she's so high up. So she doesn't need to bow down to SJW talking points and seeds of allyship and all the stuff that we all know she doesn't believe in. I know she doesn't. I think she did it just because she's trying to come out as straight because she's really insecure about her sexuality. That's yeah, thank you, Lisa. Please smack the like button. Smack the like button like Eric's titties. Anyway, no, but I'm just like, I think that that's part of it. Is like she's trying to please her fans, and then her fans are trying to control her. Like it's a really weird, toxic thing, and I see that a lot too, where there's a lot of people who have they've established a lot of things. Oh, okay. Lisa says she wants to be in movies. Okay, so then she is doing it for her career. She's trying to do the aggressive virtue signal. Okay, that does solve that.
that makes sense to me, yeah, because it's career related again. I'm like,
Yeah, that does
okay.
make sense. Okay.
So
Lisa just took out all the mystery out of that. That's fine. That's what Lisa's there for. She ruined
thanks,
my
girl.
fun. She ruined my Scorpio fun. Anyways, with her aqua moon. But anyways, no, I think the thing is like I've seen a lot of people what's in is to be like wanting to unalive yourself or being really self-destructive or looking as ugly as you can. Like have you seen that? Because I've seen that too, especially in Gen Z. Like they're really into self-destruction. They're like obsessed with it, and they love to see stars and stuff like tear themselves down or like really shit on their past work and stuff like that.
No, I definitely have noticed that, like the whole being a hot mess and just like living your best worst life, you know? Because like last year I it was a hot mess when I started in December 2021. It didn't last that long, but that's because I would drink so much and I would drink on an empty stomach. So because I couldn't get drunk, I had a high tolerance. I'm a big bitch, so I'm just like, oh, like I. So I'd be like, dinner's at 7, gonna go to the bars around starting 10, and like I'm trying to get drunk. So I would eat on an empty stomach, and then I'd get so wasted that I'd be like, oh, I should go to Denny's or get some food in me. But then I'd be so wasted and tired, I'm like, I'm just gonna knock out. So I was like fasting with alcohol, and then like flash forward like 4 months, I was like about to get an ulcer because I was drinking on an empty stomach. And like I was partying a lot. Like I was going to bars and the clubs and all that, whatever. And like I did meet a lot of friends and whatnot. And it's interesting because even like regular friends that I have now that I still talk to, they're just like, oh my gosh, like you used to be so fun. You used to be so crazy. Like what happened? And I just realized
You used to be young.
I just You know, they're just like, ew, you're boring now. And now everybody treats me like I'm Marianne because I don't want to hook up all the time with randoms or like be wasted and
Ugh.
black out and be like, how did I wake up with hickeys? Like, you know? So like
Ugh.
everyone's like, you're so boring now. And I'm just like, I'm not like, I wouldn't say I'm boring. I'm not into that because like it doesn't serve anything for me now, like that I realize or think about it. Cause I'm just like, you know, it doesn't help me with my fitness goals. It doesn't help me with my vanity goals. It doesn't help me with my financial goals. I'm like, it literally tanks all three of those things because I'm like, I'm spending money to look like shit and like destroy my body,
Mm.
you know?
Well, and it's so expensive now. I mean, with the inflation, it's so horrible. It was already expensive, but it's even worse.
It is, and a true night out is so easy to just blow $200 like it's nothing. So
It's
I'm just like,
crazy.
oh, right. That's I'm just like, oh gosh, like I'm not into that. Like, you know, it's not a vibe anymore. And like everybody like loved me or thought I was like the best thing ever when I was doing it. They're like, you're so fun. And I'm already like loud and extroverted, but when I'm drunk, I'm even like more annoyingly loud and extroverted, you know? So like everyone's like, oh my gosh, like you're so fun. You're so funny. Like you're amazing. And like now they're just like, oh, like, you know, because they're like, what do you want to do for fun? And I'm like, well, I'm like, we can go, like, I still love karaoke. I can do that shit sober. I did that last night. I did drink last night, but I don't need to, you know? I love karaoke. I was like, let's go to the beach. Let's go hike. Let's go on an adventure. Let's go like travel, you know? Look at me sounding like 45 inside, but, you know, I just don't want to get wasted like that anymore. I'm like, it's not really
No,
a
I
vibe.
don't think it's 45. I think it's just, you know, at least they even said in the comments, she said it's fun to do that in your 20s, but in your 30s there are other things to do. I think it's just maturing. I think it's just going into your 30s, and a lot of millennials don't understand that phase of life of being wild and young and all that. Like the reason why people stop isn't because they just are boring and horrible. It's because it plays out. It becomes boring. It becomes like a cycle. You know, like I didn't drink all the time, but I used to eat everything. I mean, you remember those days driving to the drive through at like 2 a.m. with you, and we'd be talking shit about everybody, and I'd just be eating like a hog and going out till 4 a.m. and not having a job, not doing anything. Like I
Being
had my
said, if we break it, rerun and never come back.
oh my god, being terrified I was going to break the swing set. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like you do that stuff when you're young and you're a hot mess, and I was disillusioned and there was all these feelings back then, but it's like it gets cyclical, it gets boring, and I was kind of getting over it by 25, and by 30 it's like, oh honey, like I almost died, you know, I had like a near death time in 2020, so it's like just so much of a different perspective. But yeah, I mean, I think you're just maturing. That's normal. That's
It's
normal to just
it's
grow up.
interesting though because like the reason I mentioned all that is because it's like you said they're like into the whole like you know I think it like sides with the whole self destruction because like obviously like I was super fucking ratchet like I was a hot mess I'd be on the floor you know
Me
like
too.
throwing ass giving
I wasn't
giving
throwing ass,
myself
but I was ratchet.
right and it's like and like you know on the karaoke stage because I'd be like super wild and even more wasted I'd give myself rug burn because of the carpet like I was doing the most you know and yeah, I don't know. Like it's I still enjoy it, I'm not gonna lie. Once in a while. It's still in me, you know? But not to do that like every like 2, 3 days how I was. Like that's not the vibe
Yeah, it was a lot.
anymore. And yeah, but I think like you said, there's an element to the self destruction. I don't know. Everybody's really into it and it's like, you know, it's all fun and games when you're throwing up your guts and it's like, ooh, I think about it and I'm like, that's not fun in games when I was riding in the Uber and I had to hold my vomit, you know? So it's like that's
Yeah, well, also too, like I think that goes into the Delulu aspect of like people, they just, I don't know, like people are very delusional these days, and it's just like it keeps going on, and I'm like, I wonder if it'll go away when the economy finally crashes. But people are just so delulu. They're just delusional in general. Like they think that they can just have these situations where they have like, you know, they're sleeping with two different guys, but they're telling people, oh, but I'm going to get married and I'm going to have kids one day and I'm trying to buy a house, but I'm just, you know, this one guy, I don't want a relationship with him. He's just servicing me. And then the other guy, I just have sex with him about once a month, but you know, I'm totally on my way to getting married and having kids and having a house. Like there's so many millennials like that are so delusional. That is so
yeah.
delusional. It's like you're not doing anything to get towards marriage. You're just doing nothing. It's crazy. But that's such a millennial problem of just like, you have this goal in your head as a millennial and you're not doing anything to actually get there. Like I talk about weight loss, I'm actually losing weight. It's not like, it'd be like if I was talking about weight loss and I was sitting there and just eating 5,000 calories a day every single day for like 5 years. It's like, no, like I do my deficit. I cut my calories even further when I get to a certain point. You know, it's like you do this kind of stuff and then you get results. Like I'm working towards something. But a lot of people aren't. So
No, it's true. It's true. Or like if some people achieve some level of success in the past, they hold on to it. Like a little somebody that we both know. I have a little friend, that he's on keto and he was bigger. He did lose weight, but he's keto, but he drinks all the time. And like and
Delulu.
yeah, and I guess just to sum up the point, like he's getting bigger and bigger, and he'll still on occasion post like, "I've come so far and like lost so much weight," and I'm like, "Okay, congratulations," but like that was 2 years ago. Like, what are you doing now? You're just getting big again. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. It's crazy. It's wild. But I do have to, now we have to get into your toxicity because we can't just have you come across as being this like amazing, evolved woman that you're not.
I'm not a woman. I'm a man. Okay.
It depends on your definition. No, I'm just kidding. But
Oh my
anyways,
God.
I'm kidding. But why is your name George Glass? Let the people know.
Oh my God. I am George Glass because I don't know how people be seeing me or whatever. I don't know how I come across to like strangers that like don't know me or know me through just like my Facebook or Instagram. But I am George Glass because I guess I'm just like this made up bullshit fantasy. Because like
Very Pisces.
I guess so. Lisa talked to shit. But anyways, but I guess I say that because yeah, because I just, I guess my most recent experience with that was on Thursday, like 5 days ago or whatever, where it's your boy's still a hoe, you guys, okay? So like he said, let's not pretend I'm like evolved and everything. Like your boy still has his moments. It's still in him, I said that. But I met a Facebook friend because I'm 50. I met a Facebook friend that was visiting from Texas. And like obviously I know what the deal was, he's like, meet me in my hotel, and I was like, period. Like I knew what was gonna happen. I'm not acting brand new about it. I get to the hotel room and he's been my friend on Facebook for like a year and a half, and I post my stupid stories on Facebook and Instagram, whether I be at the gym, attempting to dance to K-pop, or just any stupid thing, like whatever. I just post whatever. And yeah, he's been following me for a year and a half, and like I'm not an influencer or like a TikToker or anything, I'm
just a thin influencer.
Just a fat shamer. No, no. I just whatever. I just do my thing, and it's fun. It is what it is. And he was like, "Oh, I've been like your friend for a year and a half, like when we met and all that." And he was just like, "Oh my gosh, and like you're so amazing. I can't believe you came, and like you're in front of me right now, and like oh, like I have you here. Like this is like a dream come true, like a fantasy come true." And I'm okay with that, like the first 5 minutes, because I'm like, oh, okay, like if you have a crush on somebody or you like somebody, like that's normal. It's like, oh my gosh, like I'm so nervous, like, But after that, it's like, okay, dude, like, okay, like chill, like let's just talk, like get to know each other, like let's just be like, what's up, And gosh, okay, oh, I don't even. It's so gross, just to.
He's reliving this. You guys need to like it because this is tough for him. This is like a therapy session.
No, it's just so gross. Anyways, okay, so yeah, anyways, so we're talking and all that, and then like obviously like we start taking our clothes off. Like I said, I know what the deal was. I'm at a freaking hotel in like, Anaheim, Disneyland around there. So yeah, so
okay, Michelle.
Oh my god, yeah, totally. Except I was on the outskirts because I'm not good enough worthy for the mouse. But
oh my
so yeah, we obviously start getting naked. And then he's like, oh my gosh, like, let me just take it all in. Like, let me just like, wow. He's like, the gym has been working for you. And in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, well, thank you. Like, yeah, I work out, like, and eat a balanced diet and stuff. So, like, naturally, logically, it would work, I think. And, again, I'm okay with the compliment here and there, but when you keep it going or drag it out too long, I get so dry. And I'm like, please stop, because then it makes me feel so weird, It's like, hey, like, human. So, and, yeah, no, he just kept going and going, and like, it started leading to other things. Like we would, making out because we were gonna hook up. And as we're like doing that, he's over here like, oh my gosh, just random outbursts. Okay, I think he was just really nervous, like, and was having like verbal diarrhea, which is cute to me on a date. I like verbal diarrhea because I'm like, oh, you're so nervous. I'm gonna mess with you. But
we have to say this just for Lisa, but he's a Virgo. I just had to say that because Lisa will just hear that and
fine, he
she'll be
was.
like, "Oh my god, the guy was a Virgo."
Oh,
Yeah, that
oh,
you're
she
talking
wanted to
about.
know.
No,
Okay.
I think I just wanted her to know that. But anyways,
Oh.
continue.
Well, yeah, so this whole time he's just like, like I said, we're making out and he just verbal diarrhea. I guess he was still really nervous, which it's like, okay, dude, if you're nervous, like let's just talk then. Like, like whatever. I don't have to hook up. Like, gosh, I'm nympho. But and he just like as we were like kissing and stuff, he would just say things like, oh my gosh, I used to be bullied when I was a kid. Like, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, why would you tell me this? Like, this is not like putting me in the mood. Like, I don't wanna what? And then we like proceed to other things and I'm like, okay, whatever. And then he would have like other outbursts like, oh, he's like, I never really got pursued by guys, so I had to start pursuing people, which is why I messaged you and now here you are. And I'm like, ew, like that's disgusting. Like, why are you telling me this? I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I'm really like getting out of the mood.
No,
And
no, no. I have to comment. I'm sorry. I've tried to hold back. Okay, first of all, this guy is giving introverts a bad name. That is horrifying. Code one. All the introverted gays in the world that are listening, which is nobody, because this is not a relevant show, but it will be someday. Shut your fucking mouth as an introvert. When in doubt, shut your mouth. Period. Now, I'm not a hoe like that, but if I ever were, I have met people where I'm a fan of them or I've done stuff like that and I could hold it together. Like, get a grip. I get it. Like, if I was going to meet Dr. Riz, which we discussed, like, it would be really overwhelming. I'd be really nervous, especially if we were going to smash and I was going to totally go all out. It would be really nerve wracking for me. But what I would do is just shut up. Or I'd just be like, oh my gosh, yeah. Or just be like, you're so hot, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is so crazy, but whatever. Like, I probably would say that like once, like maybe like, this is so crazy that we're actually meeting, but period, right? But at this point, I think I'd just be like, period, now get down and do the deed, basically, because it's like you're meeting up with a hoe, dude. And no offense, Eric, but Eric is a total hoe, and it's like totally on his like Instagram and everything. It's like very obvious. So it's like I don't know what this guy thinks, but he's like he's like sitting there and like putting so much like emotion into this hookup. It's a hookup. That's all it is. Get it together.
we met at a hotel. Like, what?
And
So,
it's like, I don't know if some of these introverts out here, they don't understand that the relationship in their mind, like I have a fake relationship with multiple people in my head. I'm just kidding. But I just started a
are
new
you?
one.
Are you?
Shut up. But I would know in reality that that wasn't real. So I would shut it down and be like, period, no, facts, shut it. Let's go. I wanted this, period. This is happening. We're smashing. That's all. He's not as understanding the assignment. Okay, so go on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Uh, well, okay. Aside from getting bullied as a child and
Not a turn on.
and never having been pursued by men, so now he's pursuing, which is why I'm here. He's also just really saying like things just to like I don't know, like it just they lose value or they just lose the genuine or like the awe factor because he's like, oh my gosh, like obviously I didn't have my clothes on, so he's like, your calf to thigh ratio. He's like, wow, that's so perfect. He's like, it's amazing. He's like, most guys have like big legs, but they have like the little chicken like, you know, calves, and your calves are like, mm. And I'm just like, thanks, man. Like, yeah, again, it's the gym. Like, you know, I'm there. Post it like 5 times a
Totally.
week on my Instagram.
There's no guys that have calf muscles. Absolutely not. You're the only one.
I guess so. And then it gets even worse because he's like massaging my feet. He's like, the size of your feet. And I'm just like, I'm like, I wear a size 11 in shoe. And he's just like, oh my God, that's perfect. He's like, size 10 and a half and up. He's like, that's like the best. He's like, that's like the foot fetish category or something. Like, he's like, that's what's like really sexy and hot.
He really said
And
that?
size 10 and a half and up is what's really sexy. So, you know, in case anybody didn't
For
know,
him,
for
I mean,
feet,
you need to just
for
like,
feet.
why wouldn't he just, okay, why is he trying to act like, oh my gosh, that's so obviously, like you said, it's very fake.
I just don't like it. And then he just like kept going and going. Like literally, we would like make out or do stuff for like 5 minutes, and then like his verbal diarrhea just couldn't be contained, so he just keeps spewing like stupid shit. And I had to pull like, I think I've done this like twice in my life before, but it's like, and it has to be bad. And like this was my third time where I had to have my Kesha praying intro moment where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And I told him, I was just like, okay, like I can't do this. I did literally say I can't do this anymore. And then he's like, do what?
You actually,
like,
wait, so you really did say it?
I really said I can't do this anymore. Like literally. Because I was just like, oh my God, like I'm not aroused. There's nothing anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, I'm not even erect at this point. I'm just like, oh God, like I'm just like this sounded. You needed a therapy session, I guess. You didn't want to hook. You wanted somebody to talk to, you know.
Okay.
So
Mountain has a good point. Mountain Esoteric says it is really weird to be fetishized and trauma dumped on all in the first meeting. That's true. That's exactly what happened.
And it is the first meeting. I think in his head, he maybe thought like, oh, we've been talking and sending messages for a year and a half, so I know him, you know? And I was like, I don't know if that's an introverted thing. I know him. But in my brain, I'm like, bitch, I don't know you. This is our first meeting. Like, our messages don't count. Like, sure, we've had some context, but like...
What messages did you send?
It would just be messages like, oh, like, how was your weekend? Or how was your holidays? Because we've been friends for a year and a half. Like, what did you do? Happy birthday. Like, no, nothing deep. It's not like I told him, like, yeah, oh my gosh, I blacked out and woke up with hickeys. Oh gosh. Like, no, nothing like deep.
Yeah,
just like, you know, just like, oh, like I was chilling. I went
cheesy.
to, you know, yeah, cheesy, light, you know, I went to New Orleans for my birthday, whatever, just light combos. And I think us having that combo, he's just like, oh yeah, like, you know, we're friends, we're legit, like we know each other. And then okay, so like I cut it off, right? I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And he's like, oh, did I do something wrong? Like, what happened? And like, you know, I told him, I was just like, you keep talking about like you being bullied and other things. And I was like, and I'm not in the mood. I'm like, you're not setting the mood. I was like, this isn't like making me, you know, horny. So, so I told him, I was like, I just can't do this. I was like, it's not working for me. And then like, he's like, I'm so sorry. Like, oh my God, like blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, like, oh my gosh, I'm just so nervous. And I was like, it's fine. And so at this point, we just kind of start wrapping up and I'm getting ready to go. And he's coming back down in June. So, and he's already telling me like, oh, like I'm coming back down in June. He's like, do you want to like meet up? He's like, I'm going to get a hotel in Los Angeles and like, we can like hang out, you know? And I'm, you know, at this point, like I am being fake because I'm in a freaking hotel room with a stranger, just us in like Anaheim. So I'm like, oh, you know what? Like, yeah, totally. If I'm free, like, we'll hang out. I'm like, sure. If I got the time and whatnot, like, yeah, let's do it. But in my head, I'm like, as if I'm gonna hang out with you. I'm like, what the fuck? To have another like therapy session naked? Like, what is this? You know? Like, what? So, yeah, I'm not meeting him again for the record. So that was, and then he did like send me messages on like my phone and all that, because before I left, he's like, let me get your phone number. He's like, so like, you know, like we can like text on there instead of Messenger. And I'm like, sure. And you know, I'm like, here's my number. And then he's texting me and like, because he wanted to meet up Saturday, but I went out Saturday with friends. And again, it was a hot mess, you know. Halloween weekend, I love it. So it was a hot mess. And,
Sinful.
I was an angel, so no. An
A
angel built like a
fairy.
rhino.
A fairy.
I was an angel. But anyways, you little witch. So no, he was trying to hang out. He texted me like off my regular phone. He was just like, oh, like, you know, like, can we meet up? Blah, blah. I'm back now at the room. And I didn't even respond. I'm like, dude, I told you I'm out with friends. Like, leave me alone. And then he sent me a message before he went to sleep. He was like, I just wanted to let you know that I had like an amazing time meeting you. I'm so happy I got to know you, blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, and I look forward to us seeing each other.
No.
And I was like,
He's probably mad that you didn't do the deed. He's such a fake ass.
And I was like, I don't look forward to seeing you in June because I'm not going to. So, you know?
So Lisa brought an interesting point. She said, this is like the girl who I hadn't seen in 6 years wanted to tell me all about her abortion. Yeah, what is that? Is that millennial cringe or what? Like, what is with that? Like, why can't we keep some things
it's
private?
Our connection. It's because we have our Aquarius moon, Lisa. People trauma dump on us, you know? So.
Well, to me, I'm just like, the introverts are not together. Like, shut up. Keep things private. Conceal it. Don't feel it. Don't let it show. Elsa taught us the lessons. We know how to do this. Like, where are my Scorpio peeps out here? Shut the fuck up.
Apparently, it's not working.
I know. Well, even Taylor is saying too much these days. I'm like, shut it. Shh.
It's not. It's just not.
I don't know. I think it's because a lot of millennials, they're like not married and they have no intimacy like with a partner. And it's just like, you're supposed to be married and with a partner so you can say all this cringy stuff to them and leave everybody else out of it. Like, nobody needs to hear about the fact that you were bullied, dude. This is just a freaking hookup. This ain't shit. That's a huge turnoff. Like, he's like, I don't know. He's making himself less attractive when he does that. I don't know. I would just keep my mouth shut. So, especially if I was just being a hoe, I would just be like, once a whore, nothing more, you know?
He kept his mouth shut. We would have gone all the way, but he didn't. So I was just like, oh, I gotta go. It's late. Like, you know? No.
Oh my God. You love. So, anyways, yeah. You guys, that is horrifying.
Horrifying. It's terrible.
Horrifying. Yes, that's a Halloween horror story. So I just have to ask, I guess, since we're getting towards the end here, how was your ratchet? Oh my gosh, wait, hold on. Mountain Ice Turret says, this is what you pay an escort to have the boyfriend experience for. It's a premium rate to trauma dump.
I know, and I'm doing it for free. I'm so fucking stupid, honestly. Like, what the hell, man? Like, I missed my calling. I should have been a therapist or something, or maybe I'll just start an OS and talk to you naked about your feelings. I don't know. Like, you know, something. Oh, I'm doing it for free. So what the hell?
I mean, to be fair, I have talked to Eric about my feelings, but I talk to like everybody in my life about my feelings. I'm a feeling whore and a mental whore. My Enneagram 5 side is like the sexual deviant whore. And then my Enneagram 4 side is like an emotional whore. And it just like spews it all over everybody around me. So, but I keep my hoe side private because a Scorpio knows when to shut up, even though I'm not a Scorpio.
Your friends about your feelings and all that, that's like no biggie. That's like,
well, yeah, not a hookup.
No, that's something else. That's different. It's like, ooh, child, like. So, but yeah, this is why I'm George Glass, and I'm gonna get into another situation like that apparently, I guess, because I have a date tomorrow with a weird guy, which I'm already committed to. I'm like, I know it's gonna be some bullshit, but I already committed, so I'm gonna get a free dinner out of it, and that'll be, I guess, a story for next week.
More story time for next week.
It's already not good, but it's okay.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. So Celtic relates. He says, as a Cancer rising Taurus, if I'm not careful when I'm hanging around people, they start unloading on me. Love that. Love that choice of word. No, I'm just kidding.
It is
Let's
such
see.
a
And
thing, though.
I
It
don't know.
is.
I just feel like a lot of people are really desperate. And it's like, I'm desperate too, but I'm more desperate for like money, which I feel like makes more sense. I know that's horrible to say, but it's true. Like that I am desperate for. Like, but I feel like that makes more sense in this like context and within this economy to be desperate for money. It's like I feel like everybody's always talking about their emotions and how miserable they are every second of every day. It's like I don't understand how people like even myself, like I'm a 4 with Scorpio and Leo and all this crap, and even I'm getting tired. Like I get tired of talking about feelings. Even I do. And it's like it must be, I don't know. There's something in the air. It's just horrible. Cause I'm like, I go to
No, there
someone like
is.
Taylor for somebody who won't talk about their feelings. And then she's sitting here like talking about how she wants to jump off a building because a guy dumped her. It's like, I'm not interested in that. It's like, girl, I'm not your friend, Taylor. Like, sing about being a slut. I love her song Slut for the record. Just take my mind away from my problems and let me think about how much of a slut I want to be with whatever guy's on my mind at the moment. That's all I need you for, Taylor.
Yeah, you and your fantasies, all 3 of them.
That's the assignment. The soundtrack to my fantasies between Slut and Maroon, she got me slayed. But it's like, ugh, I don't know. There's too
Well,
much.
and
It's too much feeling.
no, and I'm telling you, I don't know. I mean, at first I was like, oh, maybe it's because I'm so like bubbly and like optimistic and upbeat that people are like, oh,
Mm.
I'm so sad. Let me like get some of that joy, or let me just gravitate towards him, you know? But now I'm just like, oh, I think everyone's just a sad bitch these days, you know, or like an emotional bitch because I'm just like, oh Lord, like every time I go out, yeah, strangers just start talking to me and like just like, oh my gosh, yeah, I just got dumped by my boyfriend, or like, oh my gosh, like now I don't know what to do, and like, oh, we need each other to survive, and I'm like, I don't know, girlie,
Ooh.
I don't know, so I like I just don't know what to say. I'm like, I don't know you, and like I'm a little buzzed, and like, what do you want? So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. All righty. Well, is there any last statements today? Guess I'm trying to think of if I have any tea this week, but I think my only tea is a new crush and Slut. Love that song,
Yeah.
just for the record. And I get to
Well,
see Taylor, and I'm gonna be like evil and horrific, and I'll probably come back a different person tonight, for the record. And I'm just kidding. And Eric says I can't lecture him on yoga for a whole year, and that's gonna be really hard for me. When is your next
love
yoga class, by the way? And when are you gonna do like shirtless and naked yoga on your OF?
existent OF. Or you mean my Instagram, I guess, because that is my OF with everything I post on there. So that's my OF. No, I don't know. I haven't gone to yoga lately because the only free thought I have is some big bitch who doesn't do yoga. She just lays on the floor for like half the class. And I'm like, I'm trying to get a stretch, and you're over here meditating for half the damn class. I'm like, girl, like, let's move a little bit, you know? And I already don't like her. It's some big bitch named Tanya who tried checking me when we were on the phone. We hung up. I hung up, like, we hung up on each other 5 minutes before the class is over. And she's like, yoga is starting, so you need to go. Because I was like, I'm loud on the phone, you know? And she said that to me. And so I just, like, rip off my headphone and I'm like, I'm taking your class. Like, you know? I'm like, you big bitch. And, like, I regret taking her classes the 3 times I did because I'm like, girl, you don't even stretch. Like, you just lay there and like breathe in and breathe out and like the world and I'm like, girl, like
She just starts saying satanic talking points the whole time.
yeah,
Just one
yeah.
string of Satanism throughout the whole
Reach out for the
thing.
sky, scoop up happiness and joy, release all your problems, and just nothing exists right now except you in this room. So it's a lot of bullshit. But
And the
anyways, I guess
demons.
whatever. You have no room to judge anymore, Marianne. So, but I guess the last thing I have to say is my costume is not I mean, I guess realistically, it could
It's
be
slut.
anything because I bought it from some literally gay ass website called CCFull or something, literally a gay website, and it was advertised. It was marketed as like a '80s like dancer, '80s something, and I'm just like, oh, I'm like, it's obnoxious and annoying, and I love it, you know, because it has the frills and like the purple and the cut.
Why don't you show the whole thing? Why don't you show it?
Oh my gosh,
Why
I
don't you
will. Let me
model
just.
it?
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can get the full frame the way I set up my camera, but
It's okay. Just
damn.
go a piece of your body, one part at a time.
Okay, I will. So let's do it
For the
guys.
viewers.
So for the viewers, okay, viewers. So I got the fucking. It's this. Oh my god, I can't aim the camera. See, it's just
Oh my gosh.
Like it's obnoxious and annoying, and like ignore my size 11 feet, you know, that are perfect.
Oh
But
my god.
but yeah, it's supposed to be an 80s dancer thing, and I was called Randy Savage. So, they're like, "Are you Randy Savage?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro, that's me." And yeah, I guess
Lisa's
apparently
scarred by your nipples. The nipples.
girl, I ordered a
You
large.
need
And
pasties.
I think I needed an extra large because like it keeps like pulling open. And like the whole night last night at karaoke, I was out on the stage with my tits out, but I kept trying to like, you know, and it just opened. So
It's a hoe costume. Hoe anthem.
it wasn't supposed to be. It's an 80s thing, and everyone's like Randy Savage, oil rig wrestler, and Aladdin. I guess I don't know. I'm just like it's, you know.
Well, it's like your mom says. There were whores in the 80s too. They've always
Whores were always, yeah, they've always been around and used. They've always been in fashion. Oh gosh, but yeah, so that's what my costume is, you guys. I'm an 80s dancer. Yeah.
My costume, I broke the rules. Eric says you're not supposed to be what you are every day, but I just take Halloween as a chance to be more of who I am because I'm a 4 and I'm too gay to function. So I'm just a witch. This time of year, I get to wear it outside. So it's not just internal, it's also external. But for Halloween, I'm a Scorpio witch. Witch bitch. But very Scorpio today. I feel extreme scorpionic energy today.
That let that Satanist energy, demonic energy flow for the movie.
Taylor's a Scorpio rising as well. She's my twin in that regard, and we're going to scorp it out, and her Capricorn satanic energy is going to shine through, and it's going to be really intense. But I will be discussing that with Lisa tonight. And yeah, I guess that's it for today's episode of Euphoria. Euphoria, as Eric says. Eric's trying to make a theme song. Maybe if we get enough episodes, we can make like a pre-reel or whatever. Yes, Lisa's her opposing sign, but Lisa's not a Scorpio rising. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. I'll be back tonight. I don't remember what time we're going live. I don't remember, but I think it's like maybe 10 or 11 my time. I'm not sure. I'm confused, but it's going to be late. So for the late peeps, the late hoes will be around. But I will talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Don't be too evil.
You.
And remember, once a whore, you're nothing more.
Period.
Anyways, so see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my